Hey, what's up, everybody? Ray here, back with another video. Want to talk a little bit about some of the stuff we learned over the last week about Final Fantasy VII Remake, all the craziness surrounding, like of course, the demo dropped a while ago, and then all the people picking things apart, new releases, the just influx of data just coming in about the game. A lot of people have been talking about, speculating on things over the past week or so. I've decided to take a different approach. I took a step back. I want to take a step back and really kind of download all the data that was coming, because I heard from a couple of industry insider people that messaged me. They were saying things like, you're about to get a big info dump. There's a big deluge of information coming. There's all kinds of stuff getting ready to happen. So I decided, instead of making just a bunch of videos every time something came out, I was going to wait a week. I was going to let it simmer. I was going to sit on it a little bit, think about it, and think about what I wanted to talk about, what I didn't want to talk about, and just give you all one fully fleshed out video, just kind of talking about some of the things we've learned. So that's what this video is going to be. Basically everything we've learned about the Final Fantasy VII Remake over the course of the last week or so, and there has been a lot. There's been a lot of stuff come out, so I'm going to get into it. Basically, first off, I have been privy to some story segments, some new stuff, story elements and things like that that has not been made public. Some of the things got spoiled for me, and some of the things I was shown by someone, and I willingly watched them. I'm not going to spoil those things for you, but I say that to say this. You have no idea what all is about to be in this thing. You got no idea. I had no idea to the depths of which they were getting ready to take this thing. It is deep. It's profound. It's the voice acting in this game and the story beats that they're going to be bringing up and showing off are just above and beyond, even what I thought it was going to be. And I had really high hopes for this thing, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but my super high hopes for this thing have been just blown out of the water. When he said at E3 last year, "We will not disappoint your expectations," he wasn't lying. They have not disappointed my expectations, and I think they have gone above and beyond to give us everything and more that we could want from this game. The story beats, the little added elements. I mean, some people have been talking about it. Maximilian Dude talked about it on his channel. I've seen some people have been DMing me that have seen a lot of stuff, and they've been telling me some things. Of course, I've been telling them, hey, let's keep a little bit of a lid on it. I don't want to know everything, but there is a lot of crazy stuff happening. So story additions and just where they're going with everything, I'm just floored. It's just above and beyond right now. And the length of the remake. So basically, the big thing that I've been looking at this past week is the length of the remake. How long is this thing going to be? Square Enix came out and confirmed that the story alone is going to take you 50 to 60 hours to complete. I'm thinking that's on average. You can probably get it in. Speedrunners are going to get it in less than that. That's just how it goes. They'll do it less than that. But 50 to 60 hours story time. If you play all the side quests, you do some grinding, which I'm going to do, you might get 80 to 90 hours out of this thing. Are you kidding me? Now, we haven't played it. We don't know. We won't know until we play it, but so far, everything they've told us that they're going to do with this thing, they've done it. They've been doing it and more. So I've got no reason to suspect that it's going to be any different now. So yeah, I want to say it was Yoshinori Kitase that came out and said that, but it could have been Tetsuya Nomura. It was one of the two of them. Came out in a recent interview. They were talking about it. I saw some clips of it. I saw some little highlighted parts of that on Twitter. But so they've been talking it up. They've been talking a big game about the length of this thing. I'm pumped about that alone. Just that alone is just amazing news. And also, it's been reported as far as like getting around Midgar. What parts of Midgar can you go to? Apparently, You can go all over Midgar, all over the place. That was my number one hope for this game, is that you can go all over Midgar. Again, we don't have the full game in our hands, and even people that have played the 4 hours or whatever of the game, they played select areas of the game, story beats, so they don't even know. But from what everybody is gathering and talking about, it looks like we're going to be able to go all over Midgar in this thing. Dope. Dope. Give me more of that. Just give me more of that. Please. I want to go all over Midgar. I want to do all the stuff. And different vehicles, different modes of transportation are going to take you to and from certain points of Midgar during certain points of your running around or whatever. I'm sure you can take trains. There's little train terminal tickets in the demo, like little terminals to get tickets for trains in the demo. You can see that. They've got that going on. They've got, I'm sure you'll be able to take cars, different modes of transportation. We've seen different sequences with him on the motorbike. The Hardy Daytona is the one you get at the end, but just a regular motorbike, I guess, throughout the game. We have seen instances, or an instance in one of the trailers of them parachuting. It's after a mission, of course, but that's just another way to get from place to place, from the top plate to the bottom plate. So zip lines, he's got the zip gun, the gun to get from place to place. I mean, there's all different kinds of things they could be doing in this. So yeah, different modes of transportation, different things they've got going on from place to place. That's exciting. All over Midgar, give it to me. All over Midgar. That's what I want to see. So. I've had some people ask me what I think about the summons being a situational thing. I mean, I can understand people not being happy about that and thinking that's a negative, and that's fine. Me personally, I love the summons, but I've never been a guy who just summons Ifrit on like 3 Shinra soldiers, you know. Unless you're trying to grind and, you know, work your summons up or whatever, but even then you're just getting materia points or whatever. So I don't know how leveling for summons are going to work in the game, or even if there is levels. We don't even know if there is leveling for summoning materia in the game, which there probably will be, but I'm not sure about that. I'm indifferent on that. I really have no dog in that fight. I think that I kind of think it's cool from a story standpoint that it's rare that you get the summons. You don't get them all the time. You can't whip them out whenever you want to, and they will feel a little more special. But I also get the side of people who are saying things like, you know, well, that stinks because I love playing as like a summoner when I'm playing Final Fantasy. That's a negative for you then. But I have no problem with that. You know, that's pretty much been confirmed, and I've got no problem with that. I think that's fine, and I think with all the depth of the combat and the different ways you can play the game, I think there's enough to chew on within how you play the game. I think after the first couple of missions, that's not even really going to matter. And when a summon does come available, it's going to feel really special to be able to do that. So I'm totally fine with that. I'm excited about the different ways to play combat and the different ways the different characters are going to play in the game. That to me is the most interesting part, because just playing through the demo, Cloud is so different. I'm learning how to play Barret right now each time I play the demo. I haven't streamed every demo that I've run that I've played, but learning how to play Barret has been fun because it's easy to learn how to play Cloud. And but learning how to play Barret and learning what he's good at, what you need to do, just doing demo runs just as Barret in battle has been pretty cool. I can't lie, it's been pretty cool. So I'm really excited to learn how to use Tifa. And then when you get Aerith, learn how to use her in battle. That's going to be really cool. And another piece of news that came out, speaking of using people in battle, is Red 13. Red 13 is only a guest character in Final Fantasy VII Remake. And if you all remember, when I was, when I found that when the main story theme trailer dropped and Red 13 was revealed in the trailer, remember I said, I'm the one that caught him back there in the background. I was one of the first people that caught him fighting against Genova. He was on the field. And I even said after that video, I was like, bet he's a guest character in Game 1. I bet he's not playable in Game 1. Because at first I was excited about there being 4 people on the field, because I was like, hey, what if you have 4 people on the field? Then I thought better of it, and I was like, you know what? Bet he's a guest character. Because he didn't have any, there was no indicators for him being in battle. just that he was on the field during the battle sequence. So I get what they're saying. They've come out and said that, it wouldn't make sense to give you a cool character like Red 13 to learn for the last 30 minutes of the game or the last little bitty piece of the game that you're playing. And I get that thematically. It makes sense. And this isn't me just kissing up on Square. I'm really not. That's not what I'm doing. It makes sense. I said at the time, that makes sense. You've got your 4 core characters that you're playing as. You've learned for the whole, at that point, it'll probably be about 40 hours that you've been playing the game. To throw in a new character to learn for the last 5 hours or whatever, for the last little bit of the game, that won't make a lot of sense. If it goes 50, it'd be the last 10 hours. If it goes 60, it'd be the last 20 hours, which then it'd be different. But I think once you hit that last story section of the game, I think it's really going to fly by. I think it's going to go by pretty quick. And I think just throwing Red 13 in there, I think that would be a bad call, because then you're going to have the people that are like, we only gave them to me for 5 hours, why even give them to me? So I think Square Enix is in a situation where you can't please everybody with that. You can never please everybody. But with that situation in particular, you're definitely not going to please everybody. So with Red 13, again, I think that's the right call. I think that's the right call from a developer, storyteller standpoint. Would it have been cooler to get him midway through the game and retrofit a Hojo lab in there somewhere else? Absolutely. Absolutely. If it were my call in that situation, that's absolutely what I'm doing. I'm putting in a laboratory mission halfway through the game. I'm giving you Red 13, learn how to play him, use him, swap him in and out. But that's not what we're getting. So again, I think thematically, the direction they want to go, I'm cool with it, because you're going to get him in the next game. We're probably getting the next game in 2021, midway through second, third quarter 2021. So it'll be cool, because we're going to be playing this game a lot. We're going to play this game a couple of times, and which kind of brings me to my next point. I had a few of you message me, but the first one to message me, shout out to Crossroads83 here on YouTube. He hit me up with a comment and asked what my thoughts on level grinding in Remake without many enemy respawns would be. We haven't seen many enemy respawn areas yet, because all the demo spots and all the stuff that the developers have let people play have been main storyline areas. I think when you've got the main storyline icon going up there on the top of your screen, I think you're not going to have enemy respawns. You're going to have the targets you have to take out for the main storyline to get to the boss, to get to the next progression of the story. Now, when you are not in a main storyline area, absolutely, I believe you'll have plenty of enemy respawns, places you can go. There's going to be Shinra soldiers everywhere to fight, because they're going to be looking for you, and they're going to be trying to take you out. And then there's going to be monsters in the slums. There's going to be different monsters. There might be some monsters in the top plate too, but the slums are definitely going to have some monsters down there to fight, some different things to do. So I think we'll have enemy respawns. I think we'll have plenty to do as far as that part of the game goes. I'm not worried about that. I think Square Enix knows, hey, we're making a JRPG. People are going to want to grind. That's a hallmark of our genre. That's a hallmark of what we do, and we have got to make sure we bring it on that. So I think respawns are happening. I'm not worried about that at all. And on the same point, it's how will leveling and caps work? There's a new game plus, and are your stats supposed to carry over? And if they are supposed to carry over, how's that going to work if you're doing a new game plus? I've seen people asking this question a lot. I want to give my take on it. Of course, I'm not with the development team at Square Enix, but if I were betting man, I would say they have a thing in place for this. Now, you absolutely have to have the levels and all your stuff carry over to game 2. Otherwise, what's the point of even doing it? Some people are saying, well, your levels aren't going to carry over, you're going to have to start over. Anybody would say that, I'm sorry, doesn't know what they're talking about. Don't know what you're talking about. Square Enix knows this has to happen. I believe it was CyberConnect that was on the project originally, and they took them off of it. But CyberConnect, I think that's right, yeah, they did the Dot Hack games. They kind of pioneered doing that the right way, as far as bringing your stats and character stuff over to the next game. The original PS2 games. So they've been doing that for a long time. I think that's probably why they had them on board with it. So I'm not worried about that. I think the big thing to think about as far as like that goes, if you do a new game plus, I don't think there's going to be a lot to do after you beat the game. So I think Square Enix now, and I wanted there to be. I really wanted them to do it up with like post game stuff. But if you get to the end of Midgar, it really doesn't make any sense because you're not going to just run around in Midgar with Shinra after you, with President Shinra deceased, with Rufus hot on your tail, and the Turks, and everybody hunting for you. Sector 7 gone, no hideout. I mean, an escaped laboratory experiment with you, hauling the last ancient with you, you know, ex-soldier and 2 members of Avalanche. You know, you're not going to just run around Midgar. Thematically and story-wise, it doesn't make any sense. You'd be on the run the whole time. It'd be fight after fight, nonstop, and no real story progression. So I don't think that's what they're going to do. I think they will do a New Game Plus. And New Game Plus is cool if you can bring your stuff with you and your levels and all that kind of stuff. I think that would be great. I think my favorite New Game Plus of all time was Chrono Cross on PS1. Chrono Cross got the New Game Plus right. And when you do New Game Plus, it gives you a chance for speed runs. It gives you a chance to pick up things you missed, side quests you missed, or different things you want to try and do that you missed. Go back and get those trophies or whatever. But here's the key. Whenever you leave Final Fantasy VII Remake game number 1 and you go into game number 2, whatever you've accumulated over all of your New Game Plus plays and all that kind of stuff, it's got to come with you. It has to come with you. I don't know how they'll do it. I don't know how they'll figure that out. Smarter people than me are going to figure that out as far as game design goes. So, and that's the thing. I'm not a game designer. I'm a fan. I'm a storyteller. I'm an artist, but I'm not a game designer. I'm a fan. So I'm leaving this in the hands of the professionals. And I think everybody should probably take a step back because I've been seeing a lot of hate online, a lot of negativity, which, you know, I keep it positive on this channel. If I got nothing nice to say, most of the time, I don't say anything at all, unless I'm really just moved to say something. This is not one of those situations. Everything I've seen so far from what they're doing leads me to believe they know what they're doing. They have a plan. They're sticking to the plan. They delayed it 5 weeks to make sure it looks as close to perfect as possible. That it plays as close to perfect as possible. And all these other things. So I'm really not concerned with that. I know the quality is going to be top notch. I know Square Enix knows what they're doing. So leveling, all that kind of stuff, game carrying over, New Game Plus, I think we're fine. And I gotta tell you all, a little closing remark here. Some of the stuff I've seen with the story beats and the things they're adding, and just the character moments that I've seen and heard about, it's just unbelievable the depth they're going to with this. You know, I've seen a lot of people posting online over the past week the Jesse thing. You know, now that it's public knowledge that Shinra, you know, at the end of the demo, Shinra's responsible for the reactor blowing up the way it did. Avalanche only wanted to stop the Mako pump from working. But then Shinra was like, blow it all up, destroy this area of Midgar, make this area of Midgar never the same again, and, you know, pin it on Avalanche. And so a lot of people have been reposting the shot from Final Fantasy VII OG when you go back and you talk to Jessie, and she's like, oh, I didn't think I made the bomb that strong. I'll have to look over the schematics again. You know, I think the thing they're doing is they're not necessarily adding new stuff. I think they've got a lot of old notes laying around that they didn't have time or technology or budget to implement before, and now they do. They have nearly unlimited of both. You know, they've got resources, they've got the technology, they've got all this other stuff. They can do it, they can do it up. So I think they're just taking all the notes they had from the original game. They probably had some characters they wanted to cut from the original game that they had to cut. They had some situations, some scenario stuff they wanted to cut. They had to cut. Now they can put everything into it. I think that's what they're doing. Good on them. Good on them. Because a lot of creators don't get to go back and revisit something they created that was already a masterpiece and add to it and make it the complete version of what you wanted to make it. So good on them for that. I can't be more excited or more pumped. And I'm going to cut it off right there. Hope you all are enjoying everything. I am now on Twitch, as you can see on the icon on the screen there, twitch.tv/Ray Kaufman. You can go over there, give me a follow now. We just made affiliate, so I'm really excited about that. I have affiliate status on there now. So I'm going to be streaming a little bit tonight. Not sure what. We were doing Witcher 3 the other night, so I might open up a little Final Fantasy VII Remake, do a Barrett run, and then switch over to Witcher, but we'll see. I got some other things I need to work on tonight. I got some fun stuff coming this week, some big announcements coming this week that I've been sitting on for a while. New channel stuff coming. I've got a new channel trailer that I'm finishing editing on. I got some new graphics I'm doing. I got a new little bit of everything I'm putting into the channel. I'm going full-time work on this YouTube channel now. Full-time work on Twitch and full-time work here in the studio now. Really doing it up. So thank you all for all the support that you all have given me. If you did like the video, please drop me a like on there, and especially if you're still watching it. My videos run a little bit long, but I try to pack as much content in as I can for you all. I don't want to do numerous posts every day, every time something drops or whatever. Good on those people to do it, because that's hard work. I just don't have time, so I have to let things accumulate and then just drop one big video on you all. So thank you all for all of you all who watch them, and especially those who watch them all in their entirety. I really appreciate it. So drop me a like, throw a comment in there. I love talking to you all. As you all know, I try to get to everybody. I read every comment, and if I can't get to you, then I will eventually. And I did have somebody like message me about snarky comments. If you put a snarky comment or a smart aleck comment on my thing, I'm not necessarily going to delete it unless it's just like super negative. But I'll shoot a little back to you, because that's just my personality. I take it all in stride. It's all fun to me, So sometimes you leave me a snarky comment. Sometimes I give you a little kiss blowing emoji and I pin that comment to the top of the board. But it's all in good fun. It's all in good fun. It's all video games. We're supposed to have fun. This is all about having fun. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, this is my preferred, one of my preferred storytelling mediums. I really enjoy getting my stories through the JRPGs and sharing it with the community. So anyway, post your comments below. Let me know what you all thought, if you are into it. Subscribe to the channel if you dug the content. And also follow me on twitch.tv/Ray Kaufman. We'll be doing some playthroughs and some just general chat discussion stuff over there too, and I might be doing some art tutorials over there too, some art and animation tutorials here maybe this spring when I get the setup proper for that. I don't have a proper setup for that right now, I apologize, but we're working on it. We're getting there, so we're going to be doing big things. So thank you all so much for the support. I'm going to hop off here and get on to another project, and then I'll see you all later on twitch.tv/Ray Kaufman, and you all keep rocking. And I will catch you all in the next video. Bye.